Hello and welcome to day 3 of our 5-day strategic business training. Today we are covering marketing and sales. This is crucial because, as we've talked about in the previous trainings, you must have leads and, well, you must have sales as well. So, we're going to talk about the difference between marketing and sales. So often we think that marketing is selling, but in fact, marketing is a little bit more complex than that. And that's probably why we get so confused and we get so drained and we're doing all of this work. And then we're getting so frustrated and overwhelmed with what are we doing wrong and why can't we do this and why aren't we getting sales and why aren't we getting clients. So we're going to start to clarify that today. We're going to take away some of the confusion. But first, let's start with the mindset. As business owners, this is really important. As business owners, we are rebels. We are breaking the mold. And we are also breaking barriers within our own mind and within our culture and our programming and what our culture says that we should be thinking and how we should be acting. Let me explain that. So, we are conditioned through school to sit in a seat and put in 8 hours a day that prepares us for then working a job where we listen to what someone tells us to do, tells us to believe, and they say, do this work, and we do it. We go into our job, we do a very similar thing. And we are not taught necessarily to be the leader. Now, I think in some circumstances and definitely in some schools, that is different, where we are taught to take on more projects and figure things out. And that's why we see like Montessori schools are happening more. But in fact, do we know that school and the modern school system was developed in the industrial age when they were actually training people how to sit in a seat and work conveyor belts so that we could be better worker bees? Now, as a business owner, that's not what we need to be. We need to be networking. We need to be socializing. We need to be comfortable being in front of the camera or being in front of people. And we also need to be thinking in project mindset, in growth mindset, in connections and relationships. We need to be thinking so much bigger and we need to be thinking more creative. We need to work on getting a project done in a short period of time rather than just checking off the task list. And that's what so many of us are coming to coaches and coming to programs because we're like, I need the checklists. I need the programs. I need you to show me what I need to do because I haven't been trained in how to think that way. So ultimately, we are rewiring your mind to think in a new way and to work in a way that is helping people transform to leading programs. And I'm here to show you how to do that. But today, we're talking about the difference between marketing and sales. So say hello, drop some comments, promote your business. Say, hi, I'm so and so. I do this. I help people do this. I provide this. Whatever sounds easier for you to do, give a little shout out for yourself and give yourself a little pat on the back for being here and for watching this and participating. Okay. So say hello down in the chats. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what you're working on. And then after you do that, I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I feel very low confidence in marketing and sales, and 10 being I'm amazing at marketing and sales. I'm just here because I just want to see what we're talking about. Okay? So 1, go ahead and drop it in the comments. 1, I am either terrified, I know nothing, my confidence level super low on the marketing and sales, or 10 on the scale where I'm like super, super confident. I love marketing and sales. I feel really confident about it. Okay. So go ahead and drop that number into the comments so that we can get a feel of where everyone's at. And of course, there's always more to learn, right? Like I feel super confident in my marketing and sales. However, I'm always still learning. So it's okay to drop in a 10 and it's okay to say I'm still learning because things are always changing. However, what I teach is always the fundamentals and then I can tell you what some of the tips and things like that too. But as I mentioned, it is definitely a mindset. And I say that because I have given people a framework, and I, way back in the day, was given beautiful frameworks. And for some reason, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't allow myself to just follow the template. It felt awkward. It felt weird. It just didn't feel right for me. So over the years, I've looked at like what are all of these things telling me to do, and aside from going and getting my MBA in marketing, they were saying it, everyone's saying it, but why doesn't it feel right? And that's because we do need to customize this for what we're doing. And we do have to customize things just a little bit. And I can help you with that customization. So by all means, don't feel shy. I'm going to drop here in the lower part where you can book a call with me. And I'm just going to give you some free coaching call. Okay, it's a free coaching call to help you figure out how you can take your current system and tweak it, or maybe your idea of a system, a framework, something you've been thinking about doing or what you want to do, but it just doesn't feel in alignment. And let's bring that into alignment for you. Okay. So I'll leave that down there on the banner so that you can see that. So, with marketing and sales are two different things. Now, they often, of course, go really well together. But marketing also includes your customer relationship. You're building relationships, you're maintaining the relationship. Those are important to get repeat customers. Those are important to develop a fan base. Those are important for people to give you referrals. But it's also part of your current customers and maintaining their awareness. Marketing helps keep you front of mind. Again, if no one knows who you are, they're not buying from you. So, marketing is education. Marketing is how you're showing up across the platforms. Now, publicity can be part of your marketing strategy and it will lead to sales. Now, the marketing process can be very long or it can be really short. Sales happens when you are transferring the person from a potential into a client. You're getting them to make the purchase. You're talking them into the purchase. Now, marketing does not always include sales. Marketing might just be education. Marketing might be just saying, I'm going to give you a free coaching call. And I would love if you could give me at least a testimonial in exchange. And that's my marketing. Providing these free trainings to you is part of my marketing. It's providing awareness of what I do. So, your marketing materials can be a flyer or your business cards. Those don't necessarily lead to sales, but they lead to awareness of you. Okay, so we have a marketing funnel. A marketing funnel. Okay, these are the three things that you really need to know. And you really need to make sure that you have these. If you are missing one of these, you've got a problem. Okay, so we are going to attract. Attract. How are we attracting people? How are we attracting people? How are we being seen? Now, attracting can be a freebie. It can be a sign up to get this. It can be a free workshop. It can be a free PDF. It can be something of that sort. Okay. Attract. And then we're going to collect their information. We need to collect their information. Then we're going to nurture them. So, as I mentioned in day 2, it's kind of like dating. We wouldn't just go up to someone and say, "Hey, will you marry me?" And they're like, "No." And they're like, "But I have this fancy, shiny object for you. I have this wonderful freebie. Are you willing to date me?" It's kind of like what we're offering. They're like, "Oh yeah, okay. Let's check it out. Let's chat." Right? Let's start a conversation. They do your freebie, and the marriage is like the sale. Okay. So we say, "Will you marry me?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. We're just getting to know each other." Right. Now, there are some people out there that'll be like, "Yeah, let's jump in." But most people are going to go, "Well, I love the freebie. I'm working through it. Like, it's really great. I'm willing to go on a second date." Okay. So now what are you going to do on their second date? They might need a third date. They might need a fourth date. They might need to hang out a little bit. And you could be that person that just keeps asking over and over, "Will you marry me?" But that gets really annoying, and it's almost kind of like off-putting, right? If you went on a first date and someone asked you to marry them, be like, "Ooh, I don't know. This is kind of awkward." Depends on how they ask, right? If it's playful or not. But we want to refrain from just bluntly asking, especially on that very, very early, unless we have some kind of system to be put in play. We want to let them know what our intentions are and what our business is. Sure. Right. Like I've had that before where it's like, "Hey, I want to go on a date with you, but I want you to know that my end goal is to find a partner and eventually have kids." That's okay, right? For some people, that's okay, going, "These are my intentions. Are you in alignment with my like, intentions?" Maybe. Most of us know that's we're running a business, so we don't always have to blatantly say it, but we can say what we do and say, "Keep me in mind when you're ready." So, I'm telling you, when you're ready for a coach, keep me in mind. When you're ready for some help on these things, keep me in mind. And if you'd like, you can join me on a free coaching call. I really don't like, and I've been trying to figure out the right verbiage for this because I love strategy calls because I'm like, let's strategize because I love strategy. Or I'm like, let's just hop on a call and talk about this. But I also need to build your confidence that when we really get on a call, I'm not going to try to sell you something. Right? Like that you can feel comfortable getting on a call with me because as marketers, we're also battling what everyone else is doing in the sense of if everyone's saying get on a strategy call with me and people are getting on strategy calls and they're not really a strategy call, they're just a sales call, well, then everyone's going to start to build up an awareness and a tolerance for those things. And they're going to say, "Oh, strategy call. Yeah, I know what you're doing." Okay. So we have to build up their confidence in us. They have to build up a trust in us. And your word is so important. Okay. Now, what we can do within marketing is we can do organic marketing and we can do evergreen marketing. Now, what I tell people is that you do need to do both. Some people will tell you only evergreen, or you don't need evergreen, just do organic. Organic's all about the relationships and it's real. I always like to take the middle path. I'm really big into Eastern philosophy. So I have like over 1,000 hours in yoga training and I have meditation instructor training and all these things. I'm taking the middle path. Okay. Balance is what I'm all about. So, what we need to do is we need to have a little bit of evergreen, and we need to have a little bit of organic. And they don't need to function separately. Of course, the evergreen needs to be able to run on its own, and I'll explain that in a minute. But they also need to coincide. Okay. So, evergreen means you have a funnel system where if you were to run an ad, it would lead them to the page that asks them to sign up for this thing. And then it leads them to maybe a webinar, which we're going to have webinars that convert training. So it might have a webinar that builds a relationship really quickly and then invites them to a low ticket offer or a medium ticket offer. And then it also invites them to get on a call so that maybe you can see if they are ready for your high ticket offer. So it would be able to function essentially while you're sleeping. Or you could hire virtual assistants to go out, do the DMs, and then pull them into that system. It would also allow you to do what you do and send them over. So, for example, I can record all these trainings and I can put them into a course, and then I can invite people to come to my course. Now, people might do that. However, my experience, people don't like to just rewatch 1 hour videos all the time. There are a select few, but most people would really benefit from maybe 5 15-minute videos rather than a full training. So I might pop these up for just a little bit. I might advertise it. But what you can do is when you're doing trainings like this, when you're doing launches, you really want to catch people live. Unless you're adding a ton of value like me, I'm just like spitting out information left and right because that's how I receive information. I'm going to just soak it all in and then I'm like, okay, give me some action steps. So on day 3, your homework, your action steps is 1, how are you connecting with people? How are you connecting with people? How you can connect with people? You can go to other Facebook groups that those people will be in. So you need to know your target audience. We talked about business plan, business blueprint. These would be things that you start putting in your business blueprint that you're going to try out. You're going to test. If they work, they stay in it. If they don't, you're going to tweak it. This does work if you know your target audience really well. This is why, again, it's so important to know your target audience. So, your target audience is hanging out in Facebook groups. If they're moms, they're going to be in mom support groups. If they are all about the business groups, they're going to be over in the business groups. Wherever they might be, you need to be in those groups. Now, side note, have a spreadsheet because when you join these groups, you're not going to remember where they're all at. So put the name of the group because that can change, and then put the link of the group. And then you can have a little strategy that you're going to check out maybe 2 or 3 groups every day. You're just going to pop in. And then you should also have a list of all the people you're talking to because they can easily get lost. And you're like, whoa, this sounds like a lot of work. I know, because that's what I used to think. It's a lot more work when they get lost and you're trying to find them. It's a lot more work when you don't keep track of them because then you're going to keep trying to message new people and you're not keeping track of any of them. That is more work. Trust me, I was a rebel on that side where I was like, I was a rebel on the wrong side. I was a rebel on the side of going, no, I don't want to do all of those healthy business habits. I want to stay over here and do it this way. Well, we can stay in our conditioning that I mentioned in the beginning. We can stay in that conditioning and not think bigger picture and not think towards our own business transformation. That's fine. Your business won't grow. If you want to grow, you need to keep a list of all the people you're talking to. Really, if you meet new people every day, you friend people, you like someone, you connect with someone, you need to know. You need to know their name, whatever link you're connecting with them. See if you can connect with them in other places. And as you get to know them, type in a couple keywords in there. If they sign up for other programs, they participate, put that in there. Those are people that you need to be following up with. Those are people that you need to keep in your funnel and in your system. Okay, which we're coming to next. So, how are you attracting? Facebook groups are a fantastic way. Searching on LinkedIn, fantastic way. Joining a networking group, joining a coaching program that has lots of people in it. You've got to go find your people and where they're at. And it is okay to go find them in other places. Now, for me, I'm a member of lots of different groups in my city and also online. Don't neglect the people that are in your city. Okay. Now, who's going to pay more are probably the people that are online, but people in your city might also be online too. Okay. And we never want to say we don't think someone can pay. As we build up the value, which we can do within our marketing, we can build up the value and their perception of your value and your program's value, they will pay. Now, taking on that is a whole nother thing. We can talk about that in our training. But today we're talking about these core things that you need to be doing. So attract, where are you getting them from? Okay, write that down. Where are you getting your people from? Where are you finding them? 2, how can you ask them to date you? Whether it's a really low offer or it's a freebie. How can you pull them in? How can you magnetize them? That's number 2. Number 3, how are you going to nurture them? You might find multiple ways to nurture them. You can nurture them through email, which is fantastic. You should be collecting their emails. If something happened and Facebook went away, got purchased, they changed up some weird algorithm, and suddenly you cannot connect with your people the same way that you were, you need a backup plan. And I've seen that happen where Facebook shut down for a day, or Facebook majorly changed up algorithms, or you get a wild hair and decide you're going to switch platforms and how you're running your programs and whatnot. Collect the emails. You need that. Okay. So, nurturing, you can nurture them through email. You can nurture them through your Facebook group. You can nurture them through DM. You can nurture them through challenges. How are you going to nurture your people? Now, I'm not saying you have to do all of them at the same time. That might get overwhelming for you, but we need to have ideas. Okay. And then how can you get them on a call or into your sales? How do we pull them over to the sales side? You need to know these things. This is how we grow. We grow steadily and consistently when we have a process. So that's why I was talking more about the organic side. Now, on the evergreen side, you always want to test everything out on the organic side first. Make sure that it works to pull them over into the more organic funnel. If it's working well, you may or may not, but you may put yourself into ads that is then pulling people into that evergreen funnel even more, so that you essentially are making money while you sleep. But are you setting yourself up for that? Are you developing a program? Are you developing something that can be sold? And then they get into it, they take it themselves. How are they getting support and nurturing while they're in the program? Going back to marketing. So your marketing is also supporting them. And so we need to figure out all these components. And if you're a visual person, get a piece of paper Start writing it down and do some arrows. Okay, they do this, then they go here. Those like little flow charts with arrows. Then they do this. Okay, how am I supporting them here? Draw that out, map it out, create a diagram, and then ask yourself and step back and say, where can I remove myself from the sales process? Where can I remove myself from my marketing process? And if I were going to, and this is kind of that next layer, if I were going to hire someone, where could I hire them and what could they do? Now, I'll tell you, the first person you should hire is people that are pulling them into their DMs and scheduling a call with you or putting them into your funnel. That's an easy one. And if they do that, you're going to have some things recorded. You're going to have a process and a system. If you're not sure about that, again, let's jump on a call and let's say where your funnel currently is, what you're thinking, and what we should be doing next. We can map that out real quick. I could probably do it in 15 minutes, but I'll give you 30 minutes because we sometimes get talking. And just like, tell me about this. Oh yeah, that, this, that. I love to talk with people. So let me help you. Schedule a call. Let's iron out your funnel. Now, tomorrow on day 4, we are going to be talking about scaling your business. Now, we kind of already talked about that today. And as you can see, I like to stair step up and stack the information as I teach. I will repeat myself because we learn through repetition. When we're introducing new concepts, we need to be hearing it often, frequently, in different ways, applied in different areas. Okay, so that is something that I definitely do. I like to constantly review, and I want to make sure that you not only understand the concept, but that you can put it into action. It's really easy to watch a video and go, oh, yeah, I feel really great about that. Yeah, I know how to do that, but am I implementing it? Most coaches aren't doing what they say that their clients should do. Most coaches aren't doing what they say their clients should do. Why? Because you need accountability. Why? Because you need someone to mirror and bounce things off of. Why? Because you need that reflection. Why? Because you need to just say some things out loud. We are humans and humans need humans. Humans need humans. These are why we have the fear of getting online and getting on camera. We have the fear of not being good enough. We have the fear that, oh, maybe I don't know enough. Why? Because we fear being judged. We fear not having people. So humans need humans. I am always in a coaching program. I am always in some sort of either course or group program, always. And that is one way that you're going to scale, is because whatever you're telling your clients that they need, ask yourself, are you getting that too? And how are you getting it? So we go into quite a bit of depth within my programs in making sure you know your target audience. And it's painful. And if I just gave you a worksheet and said, fill this out, you won't do it. I know, because I never did until I had to do it so many times. And then I kept running into the same wall over and over and realized, oh, I really need to do this. So it helps a lot more when you're in a group and you've got people picking and prodding and pulling it out of you. Okay. So you need a group. I don't have to be your group. I'm just telling you, you need a group. Okay. All right. So this is wrap up of day 3. Your homework. Where are you getting your people from? How are you going to pull them into your funnel? How are you going to nurture them? And then how are you going to transfer them from potential into your sales realm. Because even if they're in your Facebook group, even if they're watching all your stuff, even if they're like, "Oh, I would love to work with her, with him." How are you inviting them over into sales? Are you telling them how they can actually work with you? So that's what I mean when we go into sales. All right. So I've told you your homework. Make sure that you comment your homework. If you're not yet, make sure that you're in the Facebook group, the Million Maker Business Blueprint, or you can go to Facebook groups / Izzy Nally Consulting. That's Nally with an EY. And be in the group so that you can be getting some nurturing, so that you can find the homework assignments, so that I know you're in my list, so that I can follow up with you, so that I can support you. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you on day 4 of our 5-day strategic business training. I'm Izzy Nally, Izzy Nally Consulting, and this is Start and Scale Your Coaching Business. Bye.